open public comment on fire item 33. As a reminder, each speaker will be provided 3 minutes for their comments.
Good morning. My name is Leslie Brewer, and I'm here with concerns, questions, and comments in regards to the possibility of removing your engineers from Cressy Fire Station 64 and possibly making it become a volunteer station. As a mother of our PCF Fire Chief Josh Brewer and the wife of an active PCF Damon Brewer, both of Station 64 Cressy, I'm directly impacted by these decisions in multiple ways. With that said, I'd like to start off by reading an announcement in Merced County Fire's own words on January the 2nd of this year. Merced County Fire Department is excited to announce that we have 2 personnel on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at Station 64. Increasing staffing at our Cressy Fire Station represents a pivotal milestone for Merced County Fire Department. This important achievement signifies our commitment to enhancing community safety, response times, and overall emergency services. By bolstering our team, we're better equipped to protect lives and property, ensuring that our community receives the rapid, effective assistance it deserves during critical moments. This milestone is a testament to our dedication to continuous improvement and our unwavering mission to serve and safeguard our residents and neighbors of Cressy and Merced County. These are the Merced County Fire's own words in regards to what is best for our community. So please explain to us, the Cressy residents, exactly what has changed since January the 2nd. Why did you even bother to equip the Cressy Fire Station 64 to be a 2-0 station, only to announce the possibility of removal 4 months later? Have the county lines changed? What is exactly the policy for CAL FIRE, and what policies do Merced County need to follow in regards to station regulations? Some of it was answered. In these decisions, if these decisions are a factor that make you such a pivotal after placing Cressy as a 2-0 station, exactly what were the policies that had you change your decision to switch to a station that is not even equipped for a 2-0 staffing? Can we expect to hear shortly the exact announcement again, only changing the date and the station's name? Clearly, words are cheap and actions speak. If we go off your own words, the discussion should be easy. Cressy Station remains open. But if we go by your actions, you don't believe we as the residents deserve to know what is really happening in our own community, nor should we have a say. Either way, you decide today, but rest assured it will make a difference in the next time we vote. I also would like to make it very clear that our PCFs at Blico and Cressy are incredible. In fact, they are as good, if not better, than the engineers that are always on site, and I'm very proud of what they do. Lastly, Mr. Pereira, several years ago, you came to a meeting where our fire station in Cressy was packed full of residents. You promised us that you would do everything possible to keep our station open and that you would make sure to communicate any future potential of closure information. Why did we not receive any notice about this before we had to see it on an agenda? We hope to hear you will stand by your words and keep fighting to keep our station open. It's such a shame to hear our sheriff department, and now we could be losing our safety from our fire station. I know I'm not a responder, but I can tell you that I'm smart enough that I hear our scanner every day, evening, and during my sleep.
If you can finish your comments, you got 5 seconds.
Almost done. And in my sleep. I've seen a Winton fire truck less than a handful of times into Cressy for a call, and if both Winton and Bleak are on a call, our homes may burn down, or there could be an unnecessary death because we won't be a priority and toning out.
Thank you, Madge. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for your time. I pray my words not go on deaf ears, and that you realize we are a stronger community than any of you realize.
Well, good morning. Good afternoon, Chair, Supervisors, County Executive Staff. My name is Justin Chaplin, and I am the Deputy Chapter Director for CAL FIRE Firefighters Local 2881. I'm here today in representation of your 87 field firefighters that are in your fire stations and responding in our communities, and the 5 battalion chiefs that supervise them. CAL FIRE and Merced County Fire have been in agreement since the late 80s, coming up to almost 40 years of cooperation. In that time, the staffing model has gone from 1-0 staffing at each station on each house and a reliance of our paid call firefighter program. Although not the best option in the late 80s, it might have been considered appropriate. However, pushing forwards almost 4 decades later, it's unacceptable. I'd like to give my appreciation on behalf of our firefighters to this board for the 12 new positions that were added to get us away from that 1-0 staffing factor, to ensure that your firefighters have a partner who has their back, to keep them safe and ensure that they're capable and equipped to do the job when they show up at these emergency scenes. 2-0 is not great. Industry standard is 3. National recommendations are 4-0 per piece of equipment. Now, I understand our financial impact and the financial state of the county, but the steps you took last year on this fiscal year to give us those 12 new positions were the largest increase that the county fire agreement has ever seen since our participation. That might not seem like a lot, but it's huge to your firefighters who are here day in, day out doing the job, to know that they have a partner who has their back, who's going to keep them safe, and that they can make the rescue that they need to, and they can provide the service to those 911 calls as those emergencies come through. My goal would be that I don't ever have to hear of another one of our firefighters working by themselves. 3 days by yourself, responding to calls, driving in the fog, waking up in the middle of the night, trying to perform CPR, getting in physical altercations, dealing with break-ins with nobody to support you, no way to call for help should you find yourself toe-to-toe with someone who wishes to cause you harm. And let me be very clear with that. This is a reality for us. This is the work environment we deal with. One person protecting a community and trying to do everything they can. Those 12 positions were huge for us. They're huge for your county, our communities, and our firefighters. Moving forward, as tough decisions stand before you, I'm a realist and I understand that a decision will be made. But just remember the benefit and the impact that you will have on those stations that are there when you have 2 people, as it's a better step in the direction to get closer to what the industry standard is, so we can provide an appropriate service and ensure that both your community and your fire department is as safe as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello again. So speaking on that, there is, of course, yes, mutual aid, and I understand that. But the stations that you're considering consolidating or closing, there are no cities close enough or, that have as many resources as like the city of Merced or Atwater to respond to those. And living in Snelling now, and also before that living in Winton, the response times are kind of scary sometimes, and speaking of, your paid call firefighters, that's how my ex-husband started, and my son is now in the fire service. But again, it's going back and asking the community. This is the conversation that you need to have and say, listen, I understand costs, everything needs to happen, but we got to put some of that back on your community. If they're wanting this protection and safety, ask them to help you. Have those conversations and start that. But we're always at this bottom of the 7th, bottom of the 8th, whatever, I don't know. But, and we're just trying to figure it out with time constraints. And informing the public. I think this is the biggest thing. The public needs to be more informed about these situations, not when it's dire, not when it's like, oh my gosh, public emergency or state of emergency. Start having these conversations when we know that these things are changing. Staffing, that's not something new. I mean, we knew it was coming. How are you going to fund that? You have to find the funds somewhere. These are the conversations. So I think as a board, I think with your fire and sheriff's department, there needs to be more communication, with the public, saying this is where we're at, and what maybe your ideas are. What is your solution? Or this is where we're at. But form a committee, get it started, because I'll tell you again, standing in front of the city council, that happened in weeks. When they said there was nothing more they could do, it happened in weeks. Measure C was created, and committees, and everybody there was a representative from the city council, there was representatives from everywhere, and it worked. And through the housing crisis, all of that, you didn't lose firefighters or police officers. You have to protect the people in your community, and you have to protect the people who are protecting you. They have families. You want to make sure that they can go home to those families, because they're doing a job. They're putting their lives on their line for our families. Just remember that, please.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. My name is Mike Murphy. I live in Merced, in the area north of Bellevue Road that's serviced by the McKee Road Station. I know a few things about government budgeting for public safety, having served as the mayor of Merced for 2 terms, funding our fire department and police department. I urge you not to close the McKee Road Station. The analogy that comes to mind is actually a sports analogy. In the horse racing world, we have the Triple Crown events coming up shortly. You seem to be running your own Triple Crown race here in the county of Merced when it comes to failures on public safety. You've got ambulance coverage that's substandard. You've got deputies that are underfunded. And now we're attacking fire protection. All 3. I'd encourage you to expect more from yourselves and for our community. It's not as though we're the first one on the cutting edge being asked to go to 2.0. We're the very last, and somehow we can't figure it out. We deserve better. Keep our fire protection in place. Improve our ambulance service, improve our law enforcement service, and expect more of yourselves. We deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. My name is Priya Lacrity. I'm a resident of Merced County, and I'm going to be one of those residents who's going to be affected by the closure or elimination of McKee Fire Station 85. I have lived in Merced 15 years now. I'm not lifelong Mercedian, but Merced is home. In 3 years, I will have lived here longer than any other place in the world, and I moved from India. Today is actually a very special day for us. I'm a Telugu-speaking American, and today is our New Year. So I wish you all a Happy New Year from my culture. And one of the things we do on Ugadi, it's a New Year, it's Ugadi, is we make a dish called Ugadi Pachadi, which is a combination of different tastes in this one thing that we eat. So life is about having different experiences and emotions on a daily basis. And when I saw this last night, and randomly somebody texted me, right, and said, oh, they're closing this fire station, I was like, wow, I would have expected better from this county. I understand you've been in conversations, maybe we were not, as a citizen, I should be more informed, but it's also incumbent on all of us to make sure that we're part of these conversations. And that did not happen. You had town halls. Not one time it was mentioned during any of the town halls that this was going to happen. From learning about the county sheriffs, from learning about this and ambulance service and other things, it's hard to drive by every day. And now I'm going to look at that and go, oh, in a few months, that's not going to be there. And where is our next call going to come from? If I ever have to call 911, is it Fairgrounds or Planada? And I don't know with the traffic in Merced these days how long it's going to take for someone to come and provide that service for us. We have $1 billion budget. We tout that. I've seen it on your brochures that we have $1 billion budget. I understand that most of it is already accounted for. But if it's accounted for, then we don't have $1 billion budget. Either we have $1 billion budget and we're asking for $6 million or $6.9 million, it doesn't seem like a lot of money. At some point, like that lady was saying, let's all get together and increase our revenues. How do we do that? Let's hold UC Merced accountable for paying their share. That's also part of your negotiation team. You are responsible for that. We are counting on all of you. You know I support, my family supports all of you here. You support law enforcement, you support public safety, and if you stand for that, please vote based on that and not based on, I don't know, like not lack of money. You can find the money. Please do not take this away from us. Every day I cross McKee so many times, and that station has been there. So don't take that away from us. I think it's unacceptable. And I know you're in a difficult position. I understand, but I also you have to understand as citizens how we feel when something is taken away without much public.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Ryan.
Give me a second here. Go ahead.
Good morning. Board of Supervisors. My name is Ryan Paskin. I'm a citizen of Merced County. Actually, never lived anywhere else my entire life, proudly. I live in the area protected by Fire Station 85. I first want to thank Chief Pimentel for his comments and bringing these things to your attention. I want to thank the labor representative for CAL FIRE. I started as a PCF in CAL FIRE. It's a great organization, and they have been understaffed for a long, long time. Things that they're asked to do are unacceptable. They don't meet the standards of the national standards. They don't even get close to it. I think them bringing these things to your attention is appropriate, and some decisions need to be made. But I don't know that enough research has been done. I don't think there's been enough community outreach to figure out if these are the appropriate solutions. So we're talking about closing 85. I would ask, is there an agreement with like-minded jurisdictions to pick up that coverage? So you say, okay, we're going to run Planada and Station 81 by Merced Fairgrounds to North Merced, to the UC, wherever needs help. The National Fire Protection Association has a standard of a response time of 5 minutes and 20 seconds, 90% of the time. There's no way. And what happens when one of those other stations has another call? There's a call in Planada, or there's a call somewhere else in Merced. That means that you're going to wait for, are we going to wait for El Nido to get somebody out there? My point is that there are solutions. What CAL FIRE is asking for is appropriate. They just want to run the calls, protect the people. They just need the resources to do that. I think these decisions are premature to be made. I hope we do set up some times to speak with the citizens and hear what they're thinking, try to find some funding sources. If you're going to make a decision today, I would encourage you to fund them with the $6.9 million. Government's primary job is public safety. We have issues with the ambulance service. We have issues with police protection from the sheriff's department, and now we're going to have issues with the fire department. These have to be the priorities in this organization. And in this county, we need our people to be safe. These gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen at CAL FIRE are working hard to protect us. Please give them the resources they need to fight for us, to protect us. Time is of the essence on these emergencies. They need the resources. They need the resources to be successful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Max Madiag, and I'm just a resident that owns a home out there in the UC area. And my family and I are concerned primarily about the response time that you've probably been hearing over and over again. Out there, we rely on the McKee Fire Department. And now my son and I just paced it off, and it's about 5 to 6 minutes response time. Now, like he said earlier, if there's something going on and we have to rely on the fire department from the fairgrounds, that's going to delay that time even more, which puts probably maybe even my family in jeopardy. And I want the city council here to realize I put my family's safety above everything else. Now, you might think of something else on your family, but my family comes first in my heart and my safety. And if you would take that into consideration as far as the response time, you probably shoot down this idea in the first place. Now, you're going to annex that area out there, and if you're going to annex that many homes and that many businesses out there, maybe it might be a better idea if you build a fire department out there before shutting down this one. It'd be food for thought anyway with the population going this way. Another thing that's crossed our mind is that should you shut down this fire department, insurance rates for homeowners would go up. I don't know if you're aware of that, but according to AAA, if the fire department is over 5 miles away, they charge you $1,000 per mile further. So that's something even myself would put a burden on. So that's another thing to consideration is response time. And I thank you for your time.
Good morning. First off, I'd like to thank the board for having this conversation this morning. I am Christopher Lopez, the interim city manager of the city of Livingston, and I appreciate the time to discuss this. I would like to start off by saying I genuinely appreciate the professional relationships established with the county CEO and each one of the board members. It's been an absolute pleasure working with each of you. I'd now like to focus my attention to Station 96. According to the 2022 annual Merced County Fire Report, Station 96 responded to the most calls for service in Battalion 19 and second most in all of the county. 4 more calls and it would have been the busiest station in the entire county. We are thankful to have dedicated CAL FIRE employees such as Robert Wynn and Battalion Chief Brian White and our PCFs serving the Livingston community. Currently, the City of Livingston residents pay over $1 million in fire taxes directly for the provision of fire services for our current level of staffing, which is 1.0. The city contributes an additional $150,000 to ensure the station and our own engine is equipped with the proper equipment and tools. The Livingston City Council has been committed to working with the county for a new fire agreement. Currently, we are getting ready to deploy a survey to determine the Livingston community's appetite for a tax measure for new service levels. Our conversations revolve around how to get to 3.0 staffing to protect the community appropriately and ensure firefighter safety. The county has stated that it needs $750,000 to keep the station open, with budgeted costs being at $2.3 million. Based on the over $1 million provided by current Livingston residents, plus the $750,000 requested, Livingston residents will be on the hook for nearly $2 million in costs, nearly 87% of costs, while the station responds to almost half of the calls outside of the City of Livingston. The City of Livingston and I have equity concerns about whether the city residents are covering more than their fair share of costs. The City of Livingston has always been committed to working collaboratively. We have not stated we are unwilling or unable to provide additional funding to get a resolution. Our question is, what is equitable? In my career, I have had to have these types of difficult conversations with my respective councils. During those conversations, the approach was rooted in data, conversations with impacted labor groups, and exploring all potential solutions. I have a few questions relevant to the potential actions.
You can finish your comments, please.
Knowing that Station 96 is the second busiest station in all of the county, why was this station selected for closure? I have worked with some of the most incredible fire safety personnel in my career who do the things that we would never do when it comes to emergencies. Do they have potential recommendations? What will the impacts be to CAL FIRE personnel now absorbing more calls for service? It appears there will be significant detrimental impacts to those first responders.
Thanks for your comments.
Just a couple more minutes, Chairman. With further,
I got to give the same amount of time to everybody else. So.
Okay. The City of Livingston has simple requests. Direct county staff to negotiate in good faith with clear transparency on the cost for Station 96 with an equitable split. Itemize the cost for Station 96, including county contributions and a full accounting of expenses. If the county is unwilling to budge on the $750,000 request, we respectfully request to have the Livingston station solely respond to Livingston calls, since we are paying nearly the entirety of costs for the station.
Thank you.
This would help prioritize, maintain, and keep firefighter safety as a top priority and ensure community response. If the county...
Sorry.
No additional expenses from the county, please let us know.
Thank you.